Endothermic reactions are those reactions in which is absorbed by the reactants to form the products. Or in other words, I am saying chemical reactions in which reactants absorb heat energy from the surroundings to form the products. The endo, what is the meaning of endo, student? Endo means something which is inside, which is within, internal. That means energy is absorbed in these reactions. The energy is usually absorbed in chemical reactions in the form of heat energy. And some of the examples of these are photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is an example of endothermic chemical reaction. In photosynthetic synthesis reaction, what happens? The green plants absorb the energy of the sunlight and atmospheric carbon dioxide, water, and produce, student, the sugar. They prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. This is an endothermic reaction. In this, you can see that this energy is absorbed, student. Sun energy is absorbed by the plants, and you know chlorophyll, students, which is a green color pigment. They absorb sunlight energy and prepare the sugars, the food which they are eating. Dissolving of ammonium chloride in water, student. If I take water in a beaker, add ammonium chloride, you will observe that there is a cooling which is produced. If you put a thermometer, you can record the temperature will come down. So because the heat is absorbed, when ammonium chloride gets dissolved in water, I'm saying ammonium chloride, when it gets dissolved in water, is dissolved in water, this is an endothermic process. Dissolution of ammonium chloride in water is endothermic. It will absorb heat, students. Similarly, ammonium nitrate, this, if you dissolve them in water, these are endothermic reactions, students. They absorb heat. Heat is absorbed in this reaction. What happens? You have ammonium chloride solid plus water, student, and what you get? Ammonium aqueous and chloride ion aqueous, students. In this process, heat is absorbed. So I have written heat on the left hand side, on the reactant side. They will absorb heat, students. And this is very important. You have seen, student, ice packs. You are aware of the ice pack, student. They are used for the treatment of injuries or inflammations. So whenever there are certain inflammations, students, in your body, you need ice packs. What they use in ice pack, student? Ice pack is nothing but there is a water. They have two bags. One is a water bag and other is a bag of ammonium nitrate or ammonium chloride, student. What will happen when these two bags will get mixed up? What will happen? There will be a cooling effect. There will be a cooling effect, students. And that is why what they use in the ice pack, student, in on your knee there is some inflammation, there is some swelling. So what the doctor say? Okay, use a ice pack. In the ice pack, what you will do? Water, it doesn't have that much cooling effect. So we are using, student, a chemical, a compound, student, ammonium chloride or ammonium nitrate. When it will get mixed up with water, it will absorb heat. This is endothermic reaction. This is endothermic reaction, students. And therefore, what will happen? Every endothermic reaction, it has a cooling effect. It will decrease the temperature, and therefore this can be used as a ice pack. Sometimes the cooling could be so high that it will produce ice in the water will be converted into ice almost, student, and you will reduce the inflammation by the ice packs. So this is a very important application in the medical field for these reactions which are endothermic. Similarly, cracking of alkane, evaporation of liquid water, student. If you heat water, it absorbs energy. It absorbs energy, student. So this is endothermic. Melting of ice. If you have ice, student, ice will absorb heat energy from the surroundings, and it will be converted into water. So what you are saying? Water solid. This is our ice, student. This will absorb heat from the surrounding, student, absorb heat from the surrounding, and you will get water liquid, student. This is your liquid water. So this energy is absorbed. This is an endothermic process, student. Boiling of egg is endothermic. When you cook your student food in the kitchen, that is endothermic, because it absorbs heat energy, and chemical change takes place in the food, student. Therefore we can say that, student, endothermic reactions are chemical reactions in which reactants absorb heat energy from the surroundings to form the products. These reactions lower the temperature of their surrounding, thereby creating a cooling effect. The important point to note is, student, where the energy is coming or going in a chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction, there is, there are bonds between the compounds. Chemical reactions involves breaking of the chemical bonds and formation of the new chemical bonds. And that is the source of energy. Breaking of the chemical bonds absorb energy, and when bond is formed, energy is released. So the result of the two is whether the reaction will be exothermic or endothermic. So these are some of the examples, student. Electrolytic process, electrolysis. When I will do electrolysis, student, what I will do, I will pass electric current, student. Electrolysis of acidified water, student, acidified H2O. By this process we can break the water into hydrogen, student. We can break the water into hydrogen and oxygen. We can break the water into hydrogen and oxygen by the electrolytic process, student. So this is endothermic reaction. Here heat is being absorbed. We use acidified water, as I've written. Similarly, student, if I consider to AgCl, student, it absorbs sunlight. And what will happen, student? It will produce um, Ags plus Cl2, student. So you can see here, and sunlight has been absorbed. The energy can be absorbed in the form of heat. It can be absorbed in the form of light or any other form. Usually in our chemistry, heat energies are involved. That is why we use it. But I have shown the example of electrolytic decomposition of water also. That is also a reaction in which heat is absorbed, student. Large number of, most of the decomposition reactions, student. If I decompose this, I have to apply heat, student, plus heat. If I heat it, what will happen, student? On heating, this will decompose to give me, students, calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas, student. So these are all examples of endothermic reactions.